Outside, it was pitch black and eerily quiet. Out of the dark, a torchlight pointed at us. It was being whisked from left to right in short, abrupt motions, signaling us to stop. Dad obliged, coming to a complete halt, but with the car engine idling. It was a roadblock. A soldier emerged from the darkness with a gun in his hand and approached the car. I remember feeling scared, worried about what would happen to us. After asking a series of questions, and I guess satisfied with my father's responses, the soldier waved us on. I didn't know then why he had stopped us, but I know now. During that time, Zambia was a safe haven for liberation movements from neighboring countries that were fighting for independence. That year, a national curfew was imposed by Zambia's president because the Rhodesian Air Brigade had been conducting constant raids into Zambia, targeting the homes of Zimbabwean freedom fighters. As a measure to confuse these bombers, everyone had to be indoors with their house lights switched off. On the night of the roadblock, we apparently weren't indoors at the specified time, but thankfully, there were no severe consequences. The curfew was in force until August 1979, by which time Zambia's economy was getting worryingly familiar with its knees and was relegated to a crawl. A personal memory that stretches back to around the same time is when, for the first time, I realized there was domestic strife in our world. I was in my parents' bedroom, and they were at odds with each other about something. My father had a menacing look on his face. He was yelling and shoving my mother around, whilst I was seated on their bed, crying, feeling helpless, and more confused than sad. My mother kept looking in my direction, mustering up a smile, and with words that I don't recall, attempted to reassure me that everything was fine. But this situation didn't feel right. The only two people I'd seen at loggerheads before were Stwala and Chishala, but theirs was child's play with the same predictable script. They would fight, and then shortly after, as if a reset button was pressed, fun times resumed. The situation I was witnessing between my parents felt very different. The yelling didn't make any sense to me, and I was not able to emotionally process what was happening. I never saw that look on my dad's face again, nor did I ever witness any further altercations. One day, not too long after that incident, a huge truck drove into our yard. As curious kids do, Stwala and I walked over to have a look at it. I had never seen a truck up close, so this was majorly exciting. When the loud rumble of the engine stopped, out climbed a bunch of men dressed in overalls. They entered our house and started packing our things: furniture, pots, pans, the music collection, everything. I heard Stwala yell, "Wakawolala," which means thieves in Bemba. I joined Stwala as we repeatedly shouted in unison, "Wakawolala," with my little finger pointing accusingly at these movers. We thought they were stealing our stuff. Actually, Stwala had made that conclusion, and his rationale made sense to me, so, like a little minion, I followed his lead, as I did with almost everything else. The truck drove off. Shortly thereafter, a car collected us, and the driver took us to a house about 15 minutes outside of Chudley. Evening soon set in, and Dad returned. He was there that night, but Mom wasn't, nor was she the next day or the day after that. The days rolled on, and still, Mom didn't join us. What I didn't know, but was told years later, is that she got home from work to find an empty house and no enthusiastic welcome from her children. There's something to be said about new beginnings here. How my mother managed to move on from this situation without diving into permanent depression is beyond me. I know people who've cracked under the weight of situations that were far less intense.